Greetings, everybody. It's Jim. Last night I was reading, as I always do before I go to bed, just a few rules or something. I don't go too far into it. I just read a few pages and I go to bed. It's my nightcap, as you will. But I was reading Thieves Guild for a little bit, which I did a video on, by the way, a long time ago. That link will be down below. Maybe it'll pop up on the screen here. But even more importantly, the link to buy these things. It's cheap. They're still available. They're only like $5-ish a piece. And I don't know if they still give free shipping at $50, but I mean, yeah, these things are awesome. Now they are generic in nature when you get to a lot of the adventure spots, but it is technically made for a Thieves Guild, but you can totally get past it, especially if you're a veteran game master, because most of these are human based. There's no real monsters in most of these things, so you don't have to worry about coming up with crazy stats and abilities. They're just human interaction, and these are bloody beautiful. Anyway, going on about what I was thinking, though, as I was reading these, I was thinking, you know what? Maybe I'll just take the adventures, because as they progress, they'd have more adventures, and more adventures, but they'd be under certain categories. And, so otherwise there'd be second story thief adventures, rescue adventures, and so on. And I was wondering if I should just take them apart and compile them into one separate book, copy them, have them printed and stuff like that. But I was thinking that's going to take a lot of work. And even though this is the front part is made for Thieves Guild, again, you don't need it. But I mean, I have Thieves Guild just as a completeness kind of thing. Breaking up the set is not a big deal. And the idea of just making it easier for me to get, if I want a certain kind of adventure, such as a rescue adventure or a thief adventure, it'd be easier just to make a complete chart and say, look, you want one of these, go to this book, and just make a chart instead of trying to copy and paste everything and then having two books, because I wouldn't want to get rid of the originals. So it's not exactly convenient in that sense. But it's just sometimes I get OCD projects, I think, and I have to fight them. Anyway, the reason I'm talking to you today is because I found out that the Duke's Dress Hall is one of probably the most interesting books that I've read in the Thieves Guild so far. Well, maybe it's just a matter of not expecting what I found in it. Because you certainly look at the Duke's Dress Ball, not exactly something you would think would have, your basic adventure, testosterone and stuff like that. I would think that this might be one of the least used. But I find out that it might be one that you'll use often. Today, I'm going to be talking to you about why you should definitely be using Thieves Guild 3, the Duke's Dress Ball. Okay, so the first thing about the Duke's Dress Ball is, just like in all of these Thieves Guild things, they do have a few pages in the front about Thieves Guild information of new rules and stuff. This one's about lockpicking, and it's not long. So you're not losing too many pages here. There are some supplements that really half the book is like new rules and then just a few adventures in the back, but they're still worth it. But then you get right into it with the cat burglary scenarios of what I want to talk to you. One or two things that make this book so overwhelmingly valuable. First is the adventure is the Tower of Tisconius, and it's a real big word. I got to put up on the screen there. Tisconius. It's hard to say. If you're going to come up with a big word, try to make it easier. I mean, it's one thing to read it by yourself, but if you're trying to, interact with your people, it's like, blah, 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 blah. You can't even say it. If nobody can say it, then it's like, it doesn't matter. So kind of modify that, if you will. But it's basically an adventure about something's happening with this wizard. He hasn't been seen lately, etc., etc. But the thing is that's exciting is not just the adventure itself, because it does have... it does give you the Gilded Plow, which is a nice little inn. So you're getting that. And the village of Aldery, which it talks about, which is always a little bit nice. And it talks about the mage himself and what motivates him. But the end, there's a nice little maze that you have to go through. It's a what do they call those? It's a topiary maze. It's just like in The Shining, you're running around in that. It's just a bunch of plants. It's a plant maze. But the big deal here that you can use in just about anything generically is it gives you a full wizard's tower and a big description of everything. And it's just made for reality as much. It just has... I know it just sounds silly and stuff like that, maybe to a point. As much as it has the alchemical laboratories and the demonological summoning chambers. It also has the bathing and laundry and the bed chambers and all that in great detail. And there's a number of levels. I mean, this thing is, they're all a little short, but I mean, it's a wizard's tower, right? It's not supposed to be this big sprawling thing. It's supposed to go up high. So there's like 15, let me see how many there is. There's 15 levels in it. So you can use this as a generic Wizard's Tower for any campaign. Now, there are already Wizard Tower campaigns out there. If you're a fan of the Fantasy Trip, we got Tower of the Moon by David Pulver, which is a good one as well. But this one definitely is something that you could use. I mean, and that's, would you pay $2.50 for a fully fleshed out tower? You know, a little bit even generic and stuff like that, so you could put your own stuff in? I bet you would. So what's the second thing that we're going to be talking about today? So then we get into pickpocketing scenarios and cut-pursing adventures, and this is the Duke's Dress Hall. Now, this one is the one that at first I'm like, how are you going to use that? It's going to be a basic adventure and stuff like that, trying to steal things. But the real thing is, this is a complete dress ball. I know that sounds crazy, but I mean, just like the tower, this is a generic dress ball where there's 52 NPCs here. Now, are you going to use all of them? No, you shouldn't. You could read them all and see which ones you want. Or if your characters are going to be in there for whatever reason, you can use this to make little NPC interactions and see where it takes you. Some of them have, of course, family. There's families in there with noble families and things about that. But I mean, they go into depth with all this stuff, and you can go down the rabbit hole as far as you want to and need to. And it even has a timeline of certain things with table of events. I mean, a big one, right? Now, this might be more adventure-oriented, but I mean, it goes from 8 a.m. I mean, like, I'm holding this up like you can see it. 8 a.m. Unfortunately, there's not a PDF version of this that I know of. 8 a.m. I asked, I forgot his name. It's a Japanese name, but he worked for Chaosium for a long time. But I asked him if he could make he needs help making these a PDF or something like that, because then he could put it on Drive-Thru RPG and more people could enjoy it, and it'd probably sell real well. So if you know the guy, convince him to help me. Let me help him, because I'd volunteer to do it. That'd be cool. But yeah, it goes all the way to 4 a.m. the next day. And then it has a little bit of extra rules for character directness and its effects, which might be a little bit more detailed than maybe what you have in your system that you have. I know, like for the Fantasy Trip, they don't really have a whole lot on there. Maybe GURPS probably does, but this has some good stuff that might be a little bit more simplistic. That would be good. So basically, and that's it. So there's when it comes to all these families, I mean, I just can't go over how detailed they are. And I was thinking, it's like, man, to run that adventure, it would probably take a lot. I'm thinking it would be too much because you'd really have to read it. The tower, even itself, it's like, are they going to go? You read the whole thing, and they only go up to the third level and decide to leave, right? So you got to kind of be familiar, and that's game mastering anyway. It's just there's a lot there, but I really think the tower is really nice. But the Duke's Dress Ball is something that you could use over and over again. Just as you have nobility and you come in and meet everybody and you don't know who would be there. You might have to make a different chart to say who may be there and who may not be that day. While this adventure kind of assumes everybody's there because it's a big event. But I really like it a lot. And for $5, you can't go wrong. Guys, I know this was more of a ranty video and I kind of was going off the a little bit, but I'm trying to do these so I can do these videos more often, because really I'm kind of impressed with myself. I just talked for like 6 minutes, got through the points, got everything, flubbed up a little bit, but maybe because of this, it won't take me hours to do it. I swear, it takes me 3 hours to make these videos. By the way, if you haven't liked and subscribed yet, please do. We got 2,400 subscribers, and I want more because I'm greedy. Please like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys next video.